See, by now you better feel it.
You know, he was labeled as an arrogant, kind of cocky guy.
Yeah.
And then you hear him talk and watch how he's navigated this early process of being in Cleveland with the Browns. And he comes across completely different. Like, listen to how his teammates talk about him. Listen to how he answered the questions. It just comes across, he's incredibly humble, well-spoken. And,
yes.
And, like, I don't mean this as a negative, but kind of quiet. You watch how he handles himself. You watch how his teammates have spoken about him. It's the complete 180 from what you expected to get. He looks the part of what you would hope for in a franchise quarterback. I've been damn impressed with how he's handled himself off the field in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. Shedeur is the complete opposite of what I thought the Browns were actually getting.
It just sounds like Shedeur Sanders is like really kind of stealing the show. I mean, I'm not trying to stroke Zach's ego any more than we have on this show, but like the dude knows ball. All I can say is that he goes where the ball's supposed to go, and it looks the way it's supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hear that tells me it sounds like the Browns may have got a steal with Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, because I think he'll have a chance.
Shedeur taking fewer reps, do you think that's a bad sign?
No, not at all. It's too early for all of that. He just arrived. He's a rookie. His career completion percentage is the best in the FBS. Last year, despite being sacked about 42 times, 90 plus times over the 2 years that he was at Colorado. The brother can play.
He will get the chance to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And that should happen sooner than later, Green, for a number of reasons. First of all, he could be their quarterback in the future. I don't think there's any question he has much more ability than Dillon Gabriel.
Shedeur will get the opportunity as he continues to progress and earn the trust of the coaching staff. And if he does that, look, Mike T's right. He's the most talented thrower on that roster.
Shedeur is the only potential star. And if you look at the first 5 weeks, it's 5 top 10 offenses, then Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. If they're dull in the first 6 weeks, I think Shedeur, the star power will matter. In 90% of markets, it doesn't. Cleveland at quarterback, it does. Shedeur by week 8 is starting. I asked GMs about Dillon Gabriel, and they're like, he's not a 3rd-round draft pick.
I knew people that thought the guy was undraftable.
I think the Browns so far, and this could change, but it's only June 11th. I think so far they're handling the Shedeur Sanders stuff the right way. If he were taking number 2 overall, I think that's a freight train, man. That is something that changes, and maybe he's thrust into the position a lot sooner than what he's ready to do. All the emotion, all the hot air has been done with the media. I don't think there's anything that I can point to and say, hey, this is starting to get a little squirrely here. And it's good because there has been times where it's been June and things have gotten a little squirrely with a couple of quarterbacks in the past. I say he's already guaranteed to make the 53-man roster.
So you still have a place in Ohio. You know the Browns. You know the personnel well. I'm a big fan of Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. I don't always love the impulsive nature of the ownership. I know it's OTAs, and I can't take a ton from it. But when you look at Shedeur's numbers, he's duplicating what he did at college. Jaden Daniels ran in college. You watch him in the NFL, and you're like, oh, that translates. Shedeur's accuracy, 74% in college. He's now at 77% in camp. And you could say, well, it's just camp. Well, why are the other quarterbacks at 58% for the Browns? It means something, does it not?
Yeah, it means a little something, but I wouldn't read too much into it. And you see, all of his reps have been with the back end guys. He hasn't gotten any reps with the ones. To me, that's a good decision, because as soon as he gets in with the ones, then the hype train's gonna roll even further. You can get excited, but don't be too excited.
Was the storyline of the draft. What is your sense right now of Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland?
Is the chatter real? You've heard a lot of reports from a lot of different people like, man, Shedeur looks really good. And now you're going into minicamp. Can Shedeur continue that positive chatter if it's real and get that organization to sit back and say, you know what? Why not start him? Why not see what he has this year? Because either you figure out who your starter is moving forward, or you weaponize those 2 first-round picks in Cleveland for the 26th draft.
Well, so look, I agree with you. You have to figure out if you don't have your quarterback of the future.
I'm told that he came into mini camps, and I spoke to people this weekend, and was as good a young third-day pick you could imagine in how he handled himself.
They have every reason in the world to want this to work. He was at worst a second-round talent. There's every reason in the world where they could come out of this looking like the same geniuses that San Francisco looks like for taking Brock Purdy where they did. There's nothing but upside for Cleveland in there. There are some quarterbacks who who they have these talents that just jump off the page, right? If he's got a cannon for an arm or if he can run like Lamar Jackson or whatever. Shedeur Sanders' superpowers are the opposite of that, right? They're all the things that actually make quarterbacks good. They're processing and reading the defense and all that. Does that stuff become obvious in training camp scenarios?
Fast.
They'll see that fast?
Fast.
Then he's going to look great quickly.
And let me say this. If this offense is going under Kevin Stefanski, at least rumors to what it was a couple years ago, he's perfect for it.
The superpowers that he has from the neck up, to me, that will help him get on the field faster than anything else will.
He has to force that organization to play him because he's so impressive. And it will start this week, and then it will start for them to say, let's give him reps versus our number one defense in training camp and see how he does.
We can all agree he's not a fifth-round talent. His talent is somewhere in the first, second round. But if you look at the path for him to become a starting quarterback in this league, especially with the Cleveland Browns, it doesn't get any more clear. Shedeur Sanders has just as good a chance to win the starting job as all those guys. He will be the starter at some point this year, and that's what we've said.
Because I keep hearing 5 games, 5 games, 5 games, 3 games, 3 games, 3 games. That's what you're going to get with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. So eliminate them. Put these rookies in the game. You know what Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco is going to bring. But if you're only going to win 3 to 5 games, why are we even worried about these veterans? And that's just me being real.
You have a room full of quarterbacks that's not proven. Cut the malarkey, dog. Please, seriously. Cut the malarkey. It's time to move on with the new, out with the old. Listen, players, I don't know about y'all, but I've been talking to players and I've been talking to coaches. Not to get into no names, but I know people everywhere. And they been saying, yo, this young kid ain't no fifth-round draft pick. He's looking really, really good.
Look at what happened in Washington when Jaden Daniels came in there. The entire city, the entire organization got enthused with hope and vigor, and now they are the hottest thing going right now. Cleveland needs some energy. They need some spunk. They need somebody they can build around so they can start to get that energy going, because it's been a long time since the dog pound has been rocking.
As I was told, Kevin Stefanski's plan for his 4 quarterbacks in OTAs and minicamp was to try to get a lot of different guys, different touches in different situations, and they all really answered the bell, including Sanders, who showed the ability to put the ball in some tight windows. He threw with aggressiveness, took some chances, so they like where he sits. But Sanders has made an impression, there's no doubt.
So the controversy right now after OTAs is something that anybody who is paying attention or has paid attention or has covered this team for a number of years told everybody was going to happen. It happened, and now people are upset. But what has happened is that Shedeur Sanders didn't get first-team reps in OTAs because it doesn't seem like the Browns want to rush this thing with Shedeur Sanders, which is ultimately good for him. But some people have taken the fact that the Browns aren't giving Shedeur first-team reps as some kind of handicap that they're giving him in this quarterback competition, and they're equating this with the fact that the Browns, in their mind, will never give Shedeur Sanders a fair shot. The first thing to remember is the quarterback competition has not really started yet. Ain't no competition in football starts, especially in the NFL, till you put pads on. Like, there's no winning the competition in June. There's no winning the competition in July. So people acting as if like this quarterback competition has already gotten started and Shedeur's being held. That's just not how it's going. But the truth is, if the Browns were the team that were trying to sabotage Shedeur Sanders, like some people are saying, they would be doing everything they can to rush this kid out early, because that would be setting up Shedeur Sanders for failure, right? Now, if you're a Sanders fan, you want to protect him from this. I know some Sanders fans seem to think that Shedeur Sanders is incapable of looking bad in the NFL. But I promise you, nobody is incapable of looking bad in the NFL. Do you really want to see a world where Shedeur Sanders is 1-5 and people are blaming him for being 1-5? And then we put in Dillon Gabriel? Is that really what we want to do? You should want Kenny Pickett to take that, or Joe Flacco or Dillon Gabriel to take that, because that's a murderous row. Why do you want a rookie to play those 6 weeks? Like, somebody's got to answer this question to me eventually. Talking about, we got to play the rookie week 1. Why? Dude, I wouldn't send rookie year Cam Newton out there. I wouldn't send rookie year Andrew Luck out there. These are some of the greatest prospects of all time. We should probably let them games go. I don't see the reason that you got to rush it.
See, now you got me questioning whether or not he was unprepared when he came to those meetings. I think y'all tried to salt that man up. If the one thing that he was going to be is prepared, I love the way he's answered that question.
Listen, he's answering the questions perfectly. And the funny thing about it, I got a couple of young bulls out there. I talked to Denzel Ward. He looked different. There's a difference when that young bull is out there spinning that ball. You hear me? When he's at the helm, he looks different. Whether he's going with the first team, second team, or third team, he looks different than the rest of the competition. That's what I heard.
I just remember having a conversation with my brother. My brother would tell me, it's like, man, how it's going? I said, Spank, man, I got like 1 rep. I got like 2 reps. I ain't even get in today. He said, one day John Elway going to call on you.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're going to get your opportunity. It's going to come.
Yeah.
And when it comes, that's the only thing that my brother told me. He didn't tell me they messing over me. He didn't say, all he said is like, you know what? John Elway going to call your number one day. I would go ask John, man, what can I do better, man? I just want to be like, when you call him, I want to be there.
I asked him, hey, let me know what you think, like what I need to do. So it's like he's seen it, he played it, and like he's a pro, So it's like I'll be dumb, I'll be a fool to not get insight for somebody that had success over all the years that he had.
Just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing. That's all you got to do.
So should Shedeur start week 1? Yes or no? I'm starting Shedeur. You started 4 years of college. Absolutely, you starting. I'm going with Shedeur. He's accurate. He can throw with anticipation. Is he's the strongest arm, the most athletic? No. Shedeur Sanders starting for me.
This Kenny Pickett move, I absolutely do not mind it at all. If he goes out here and plays well, that's a bonus for your football team, and then you have 2 young dudes behind him that you are developing. If it's not Kenny Pickett, the only other option is Shedeur, because I believe he's the best talented quarterback on that roster.
You know what I was thinking? I don't know if you can see what Shedeur has if you start him week 1. If you start Shedeur week 1, you don't know yet, James, how bad the Browns are without Shedeur, because you've never seen the Browns without Shedeur. So if Shedeur's a starter and the Browns start 0-4, everybody sucks. Y'all all suck. Njoku, you suck. Jerry Jeudy, you suck. Shedeur, you suck. Offensive line, you suck. Everybody sucks. But if you start the Browns without Shedeur, and all of a sudden they're 0-4. Then Shedeur comes in and the Browns proceed to win 2 of their next 3 games. It's because of Shedeur. Think about Drake May for a second. He showed flashes, and we saw the Patriots were terrible without Drake May. So when he goes in there and wins those couple games, like, Drake May might have something.
For me, this is it right here. Number 1, if you start the young quarterback, you can't give up on the young quarterback. Mm-hmm. It is going to be some ups and downs as the season goes on. And if he shows you those flashes, then that's a bonus for your football team, kind of like Drake May.
It's encouraging that guys inside that locker room are actually saying, he looks different. I mean, presumably in a good way.
You can say when he does start, or he does get an opportunity, there will be nobody or no detractor can look at you in your face and say he did not earn it. No one gave him anything. He was a 4th-team quarterback all the way into camp until he started getting reps, and then that keeps your credibility as a coaching staff to say, I told you it was a real competition, and if you start off 5th, you're going to have to climb some stuff. So for me, I'm hoping this is what happens. I hope he gets his rep when the regular camp comes, and then you know when we're going to find out if he's different or not? When they get the pass on. And then it's undeniable.
I mean, June 16th last year, we still thought Deshaun was an NFL quarterback. This is so early in the process. I've already been on record. I think Shedeur should start more games than any quarterback on this roster just to get a look at what you've got.
We've used this as the answer all along, and this is what I love it. It's a meritocracy, man. Nobody's getting nothing they don't deserve. Nobody. And we're gonna find out.
If Shedeur Sanders at worst isn't the backup on this team, there's going to be hell to pay through the media. If I am the head coach, the GM, and the owner of this team, I'm naming Shedeur Sanders my starter today. Today.
The idea that Shedeur continues to go out there and win these days, day after day after day, I mean, we got to commend him at some point. And he's winning over the locker room. But when veterans get around, that's when it's loose lips sink ships. That's when people start talking. So I've been waiting for the mandatory portion of this camp for a while, because in the next couple days, we'll hear a lot of these veterans start to talk about what they actually think about Shedeur Sanders. So we'll wait and find out what some of the veterans and some of the other players say when they're not in front of a microphone. But the early returns with Shedeur from a playing standpoint, again, another deep pass today and a lot of good throws that were captured and went very, very viral. From you hearing him talk, and you heard him in BNP in that final hour there of their show. Just a lot of things to walk away impressed with.
guys look good. You know, I'm looking forward to picking them all off in practice. And they all looking good, competing. So I'm looking forward to see how it continues to play out. And best guy's going to be out there.
Look, he's worked his tail off. You know, he's really putting a lot of work, as all those guys are. But you could tell on the mental side of the game and learning the system and calling it and having that rhythm to it. You know, he's put a lot of work and time and effort into that. And then when you do that, the game starts to slow down and you can focus on finding completions. And he's done a nice job of that as camps progressed. In terms of the competition, we're so early in the process. We're so early in evaluating it. But yeah, I think, you know, we have a good group of guys that will continue to push one another. And by the time September rolls around, we'll be ready to go.
When did you start kind of architecting out that plan?
Yeah, it's a good question. Tried to get creative, having Tommy Rees on staff coming from college recently, Mike Bloomgren on staff coming from college recently. The two-spot, quote-unquote, that thing, the two-spot where you have the same plays being run on simultaneously on different fields. That's nothing new for college. It's harder to pull off in the pros just on the roster limitations, but obviously not impossible. I thought the way it was designed, and I think Tommy and the offensive staff and certainly Jim and the defensive staff were really creative about how they got their work done.
I know every day is room for improvement. I never feel, I would say, full. I would say I'm always hungry. And it's a lot of aspects in football that you could get better at. I put in my day's work, but I know I'm far from where I want to be. I would say spiritually. That's why I say I've grown the most. Joe's the old guy in the room, so I joke with Joe all the time. I mean, I can't tell him all my jokes now. I can't tell you all my jokes, but they mic'd up or anything like that. All that stuff is real. That's real questions, but, you know, and then, like, after that, then, okay, it's time to lock back in. Like, everything in life, in any aspect, is going to be a challenge. So it's just, are you going to be the one to overcome the challenge, or are you going to let that challenge get you? My goal is to be the best teammate and to be as polished as I can be in every aspect. I view things as I got time. I got time to be able to grow and mature, you know, and be able to understand the ins and outs of the defenses and be able to get the good insight from the vets in the room. So I look at it as, you know, a plus. Like, I got time to actually be able to really have a great understanding, and whenever, you know, it's time for me to play, then it's time for me to play. But I'm not looking too far in the future about all that. I'm looking about every day in practice. I just feel like I'm back in my element. You know, it's grass, it's fresh grass. You hear the birds outside. You understand what peace is at this point in life. Do I look more comfortable? I look more comfortable, huh? So, yeah, of course, I feel more comfortable here. Life is just based on how you view different things. So you could view things as you're not getting reps in a negative way, or you could view it as, okay, when it's my time to get out there, let's be proactive and let's get warm, let's get going, so there's no excuses. Because when you get out there, nobody cares how many reps you got. Whenever you get in the game, nobody cares if you took a snap before.
You think that?
Well, I talked to Shiloh, too. Shiloh always be telling me about that. Well, I think it's extremely important. I took a lot of sacks in college, so I know how that feels on your body, I'll say. So it's definitely going through the progressions and getting comfortable and knowing the ins and outs of everything. So when you go on the field, I already have a different type of confidence by myself regardless. But now when you go out there and you know the ins and outs and everything, then it's a whole different type of confidence. Right now I got to focus on this walkthrough that's about to be later on, and I got practice tomorrow. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. So I'm here not to talk about Pops and them. I'm here for the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I'm focused. I'm focused on learning this playbook and everything I got to do to be the most successful quarterback I could be and be the best teammate I could be.